It's 15 minutes past 5 o'clock. You're listening to All Points West on CBC Radio 1. And hey, tomorrow night, the Art Gallery of Victoria is celebrating a special artistic series celebrating the work of Black artists in BC. The event is called Portal to the Afro-Future. Ruby Smith-Diaz is a multidisciplinary artist and educator, and she is tasked with producing an immersive soundscape for the event. Here's a sample of what it sounds like, and just a warning, the content may be triggering for some listeners.
In 2015, Andrew Goku, a Sudanese father of 4, was killed by the police in Toronto in the midst of a mental health crisis. In 2016, Bonnie Jean-Pierre, a Haitian man in his 40s, was killed by the police in Montreal while he was unarmed. In that same year, Abdirahman Abdi was beaten to death by the police in Ottawa.
My name is Ruby Smith-Diaz. I'm an Afro-Latina personal trainer here on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. I don't think of myself as somebody who's particularly outstanding in what I do and who I am, but then upon further reflection, I considered the type of work that I do to be something actually really different that not a lot of people know about, even though it's coming more into prominence these days. But I feel like I would not serve my community if I didn't speak about the work I do and the way that movement has changed their lives and their relationship to their bodies. My ancestry is mixed. On my mom's side, my mom's lineage, we have Spanish heritage, and my mother comes from Chile, from Walmapu territories, and my dad's side of the family is of African origin, and we are from Maroon lineage, specifically from African heritage of Maroon lineage on the island of Jamaica and the unceded territories, also Taino and Arawak peoples. Both of my parents met in Treaty 6 in Misquitchie about 34 years ago, actually a little bit longer than that. I would say my motivation to do body positive training comes from a place of my own relationship with my body and what I did for so long to alter its shape. And it was a harmful stage of my life where I was restricting my food intake, where I was using exercise as a way to ideally get thinner. And it was a relationship with my body that was really toxic. And I reached a breaking point where it felt that I couldn't go any longer starving myself for being able to get out of bed, for being able to go for a walk, for being able to stand without pain. And for me, all of those factors contributed into establishing a practice where, for me, I transformed my own relationship to exercise and movement and my body, and I wanted to also support others that maybe felt the same thing, and do it in a way that didn't contribute to the further marginalization of communities that already experience so much harm because of their racial identity, of their sexual orientation, because of their gender identity, and all of these hosts of identities that we marginalize in our society. So I saw myself as being a person that, because of my experiences with movement, with exercise, being a racialized person, being a person that just like is gender curious as well, could potentially build a lot more bridges into this field of work.
My name's Jennifer. I am 41 years old. I have been fat my entire adult life and most of my childhood. When I met Ruby, I was looking for a fitness professional who wasn't going to try and force me to lose weight. Autonomy YVR is about finding movement that is good for you in a way that respects the trauma that has happened in your life and allows you to move without shame. In my life, as I said, I've been fat for my entire adult life. I have interacted with many fitness professionals and a lot of health professionals who have tried to change my body in a way that they think that is better according to societal assumptions. By societal assumptions, I mean that there's an assumption in society that health means thin. And since I am not thin, therefore I am unhealthy. And that assumption has resulted in powerful eating disorder, has costed me thousands of dollars and hours of my life in order to change my body. And what Ruby has brought to me is the ability to move my body in a way that doesn't automatically cause me shame or makes me believe that I need to change. Ruby brings a lot of optimism in our training sessions, and she is available outside of our training sessions.
I don't think I've ever left a session with Ruby where I'm feeling worse, or I'm down on myself, or I'm like lamenting or fixated on something that could have gone differently, which I do a lot in my regular life, right? Like, I think as women of color, we're also socialized to self-criticize everything we do, right? No matter how good you are, you're still going to see yourself in this way of, but I could have been better. One of the few spaces in my life that when that time with her is done, I feel good.
So Autonomy Fitness is a radically body inclusive personal training business. So I work with clients one-on-one and also in buddy sessions and also in group training classes done virtually. For me, everyone is welcome with Autonomy. And my mission, though, is to really center the experiences of people that have been pushed to the margins in the fitness industry. So folks that are fat, folks that are queer, folks that are Indigenous, Black, racialized, folks that have disabilities. That's where I center my work. And that's where I see myself serving clients the best, because for me, it's so important what every person's story about their body and their relationship to their body and their relationship to movement. It's so important for me to know those things to help recreate that relationship that for so many people has been destroyed because of the way that the fitness industrial complex has severed their positive relationship with their bodies that I think we were all born with. But through the use of media and through the use of, just the way that our society values some bodies more than others, we get severed from that positive relationship pretty early on in life.
In comparison, if I'm not able to do something, Ruby is quick to offer alternatives for me in order for me to be successful. And so I think the major difference is where the other personal trainer highlighted my failures, where Ruby highlights my successes.
I think Ruby is a very compassionate human being and loves seeing people love themselves, which I think is like kind of a rare thing, and there's so much genuine sincerity with the way she operates and what she wants. Yeah, she is a powerhouse. She's a Black woman, she is an organizer, she's an activist, she has a partner, and she's an educator. She's so many different things. She's motivational, she's a mentor. A lot of young Black youth in the province and the metro area know Ruby, know her work, or worked with her and look up to her. And I know she has lots of different webs of relations all over. And she's really someone who takes being in community very seriously and loves her community.
I think the political act of loving my body is political. It is fighting the system. I live outside of Vancouver, which is deemed the thinnest city in Canada. If you walk around Vancouver, there is a culture of wellness that is the Instagram version of wellness, where there are people walking around in athleisure. There is a culture of anti-fatness. Me being able to exercise in a body that honors my body is fighting the system, because I don't hate myself for how I look. And I shouldn't hate myself. I had been taught to hate myself for that. But being able to love my body now is an act of resistance.